Welcome to today's Explainer. So picture this. It's July 4th, 2026, America's 250th birthday. You've got fireworks popping off, massive drone shows lighting up the sky, and millions of people celebrating this huge historic milestone of liberty. But there's kind of this quiet paradox hanging right over the festivities today. See, while we're out here cheering for independence, we've actually been willingly colonizing ourselves under these invisible, hyper-centralized tech empires. Let's just dive right into a really uncomfortable question. How dependent are we, really? Think about it. The device you're using to listen to this right now, it's plugged into a lattice of systemic reliance that goes so deep, if it even just ripples, global commerce freezes and logistics literally collapse. So today, we're going to audit the tech stacks of our modern lives. We need to figure out if we actually own anything at all, or if we've just outsourced our entire survival. Here is how we're going to break it all down. First step, the open source house of cards, then the landlords of the cloud. After that, we'll get into the colonization of the mind, and finally, we'll look at the solution, Web4, the sovereign internet. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the open source house of cards. So basically, our entire digital economy, from corporate banking all the way to smart power grids, is built on open source software. We treat it like it's this infinite free supply of water. But spoiler alert, the well is running dry. The 2026 State of Open Source report drops this crazy stat. 55% of organizations are using open source specifically to avoid vendor lock-in. And while that massive 68% flight away from big tech sounds great for decentralization, it is absolutely crushing the exhausted, unpaid human maintainers who, actually build the internet. Just look at the real-world consequences here. Take the recent curl crisis. Now, if you know tech, you know curl. It's this vital open source tool running silently on, just an estimated 50 billion devices worldwide. No big deal, right? Well, the human maintainers actually had to shut down their bug bounties recently. Why? Because AI coding assistants were flooding them with hallucinated security reports. The AI literally weaponized the review process against its own creators. It's wild. What we're left with is basically a digital skyscraper built entirely on toothpicks. To put that into perspective, right now, 60% of large enterprise engineering time is spent just doing maintenance, just patching bugs and trying to keep these fragile systems alive. That leaves only 40% for actual innovation. Which brings us right to section 2, landlords of the cloud. If open source is the dirt, then big tech is the company town built right on top of it. Remember when we actually used to buy software? Yeah, now we just rent access from a few massive ecosystems, your Amazons, your Microsofts, your Googles, and the dependency is terrifying. If just one of these giants has a regional outage, small businesses lose their storefronts, hospitals can't access patient records, and entire logistics networks just go dark. Worse still, if an algorithm falsely flags your account tomorrow, poof, your digital identity is erased. All your photos, your emails, your vital business docs, they just vanish into this automated black hole. And good luck trying to find an actual human customer service rep to help you out of that one. So we're facing a pretty severe identity crisis here. By relying on those super convenient little buttons like sign in with Google or sign in with Apple, we've kind of unknowingly surrendered the entire concept of being a true digital citizen. Instead, we've essentially become corporate serfs. We're just living on private digital estates, completely at the mercy of whatever the landlord decides the new rules are today. And the dependency gets even deeper in section 3, colonization of the mind. You see, the internet isn't just a tool we use anymore, it's literally an environment we inhabit, and it is radically re-engineering human consciousness. I mean, think about it. We've completely commodified our attention spans for real-time ad bidding. We've offloaded our memory to search engines. In our spatial awareness, that belongs to GPS now. Behavioral health specialist Dr. Punglawat Pitsuwan points out something terrifying. He says that while average screen time is definitely high, the real clinical danger is that roughly 1 in 10 users has crossed over into dangerous compulsive behavior. And this dependency is directly linked to a 25% increase in depression risks, not to mention massive cognitive deficits. Without the web, we aren't just inconvenienced, we're paralyzed. The global scale of this is absolutely staggering. We're looking at an estimated 210 million people worldwide suffering from severe internet addiction. 46% of adolescents report being online almost constantly. And get this, over half of all teenagers check their smartphone notifications within 10 minutes of waking up. 10 minutes. They're plugging their brains directly into the algorithmic outrage machine before their eyes have even adjusted to the morning light. Okay, so how do we fix this? That brings us to section 4, Web4, the sovereign internet. If the last 250 years have taught us literally anything, it's that liberty cannot exist without ownership. As long as you're just a consumer, you are dependent. But owners are independent. If we trace the internet's evolution, it becomes super obvious why a massive course correct is necessary. We kicked things off in Era 1 with the static Web 1. Then we rushed into Era 2, the interactive but hyper-centralized Web 2. Web 3 tried to fix it, right? But honestly, it mostly just evolved into a speculative financial casino. Which leads us to the logical, absolutely essential next step, Era 4. Let's clearly define what Web 4 actually is. It is the sovereign internet. We're talking about an actionable framework for the future, defined by true digital ownership, decentralized infrastructure, and absolute independence from corporate monopolies. Think of it as the era of ownership. It's a tangible, truly empowering solution to take back our digital sovereignty and finally break this endless cycle of dependency. So how exactly do we build it? Well, it relies on 4 main pillars. First up, local-first architecture. Your software has to run locally on your hardware first, making the cloud just an optional backup. Second, sovereign personal AI. Instead of renting intelligence from monopolies that track every thought you have, you run your own personal, open-weights AI directly on your edge hardware. Third, protocol over platform. This means using open protocols powered by cryptographic keys, so you and only you own your identity and can take it anywhere. And fourth, mutualized infrastructure. Picture user-owned micronodes sharing computing power all across the globe, completely eliminating the need for those massive centralized corporate server farms. Look, dependency is comfortable. It really is. But that comfort comes with a super steep price tag, the slow, quiet erosion of our agency and our privacy. As we look beyond America's 250th birthday today, we really need to understand that the new frontier of liberty isn't on a map, it's written in code, it's hosted on servers, and it is being fought for right now in the quiet spaces of our own attention spans. So I want to leave you with this one final thought. What are you going to do with your attention span over the next 250 years? Are you going to keep renting your life? Or will you step up, build Web 4, and become an owner again? Thanks for tuning in to today's Explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.